Hey guys, Ben here and welcome back to another video on The Flash. Today we're going to be talking about a spin-off that has just been confirmed. This is literally breaking as we're talking about this, so if you do go on to enjoy the video, please be sure to leave a like and a comment and subscribe and turn on notifications so you don't miss any future DCTV videos later this year. So The Flash ended last year in May, and it's been a while since then. We haven't heard much. I mean, Grant Gustin said a few things, James Gunn has said a few things about them potentially showing up, but there hasn't been too much that we've had to talk about The Flash in the last year. But for those of you who watched The Flash's series finale, which I presume pretty much all of you who are watching this video actually did, so in a strange way it was kind of like a bittersweet ending just because it was teasing something for the future. It was teasing that there were these speedsters out there. Those speedsters were of course Avery Ho, the Flash of China in the comics, Max Mercury, who is a huge fan favorite, who has been previously talked about on the show, and then there's also Jess Chambers, the newest Flash, who was most recently in some comics. They are a non-binary Flash. But with that ending, and obviously with the Flash actually coming to a proper end at that point, people were like, don't know if I like this, just because it was teasing something that we weren't going to get. Obviously, there is always the potential for comic book continuations. We've seen that with Smallville. They did a kind of season 11 for Smallville, even though season 10 was the last in terms of live action seasons for Smallville, and we've heard talks of obviously Smallville having an animated sequel TV show and also a potential live action movie. We talked about that recently. You can go check out those videos on the channel. So let's get into the actual news. Now, this TV show that we're hearing about is a direct continuation off of the end of the Flash series finale with those three characters. Of course, that's Avery Ho, Max Mercury, Jess Chambers, but also it would include Jordan Fisher's Bart Allen, who we've seen in the last couple of seasons of The Flash, plus also Jessica Parker Kennedy's character, XS, aka Nora Allen, who we've seen since season 4, so she's been around for a long time. Those two are obviously the established actors and the established characters in the Arrowverse, and so those two will be leading the show. According to the report that we're reading, those two characters are going to be backed up by the three Flashes we saw at the end of The Flash. So it will be a direct continuation to that ending, where we'll be diving into the lives of these characters, seeing how they got their speedster powers after obviously Grant Gustin's Flash sent his lightning up into the atmosphere and it hit those three. There is apparently no time jump, and it will be kind of just right where they started, similar to how obviously Grant was introduced to Arrow, and then when we got the Flash episode 1, you got a brief introduction to Grant's character, but then it kind of dived right into that night where he got struck by lightning, and you will get that with Avery Ho wherever she was, as well as Max Mercury and Jess Chambers. And so there was always the potential for a spin-off show like this, so I don't think this comes as much of a surprise, apart from the fact that the Arrowverse will continue with this show, because that's something that I was not expecting to say at all. But considering how popular The Flash was, given the love that the show always got, and the fact that we've been waiting for a spin-off, and the fact that these speedsters were set up in the series finale, and there's been lots of talk about them, and they put a lot of effort into casting these actors. So I think now you can start to see things are kind of adding up in terms of what they set up and what this show is going to be offering us. So it'll just be great to see them once again and actually get into these characters, because all we've seen is who is going to be playing them and kind of a little glimpse into their lives, but mainly I'm talking about Avery Ho here because she did previously show up in episodes in The Flash. She was with Bart Allen, they had that moment, you guys know what episode I'm talking about, and so Avery Ho was introduced, but Max Mercury was only previously mentioned. He was an Easter egg in an episode, and then you got to see him finally in the flesh, but obviously that was just like the final scene, and we couldn't actually get into who he is or even see him with powers. We didn't see Avery Ho with powers as well. And the only one that wasn't teased before that you're going to be seeing in this Flash spin-off is Jess Chambers. Now, Jess Chambers is a more recent Flash introduced in recent comics. They are a non-binary Flash, and they were introduced into the Justice League at one point recently as well in the last couple of years. And so Jess Chambers has definitely rose in terms of popularity due to being in a lot of comics, and it would be great to see a non-binary Flash because so far we haven't seen one in live action. It's always just been Barry Allen pretty much all the way with TV and films. Then you got Wally West in the TV show, and you've had some other speedsters obviously show up in the Flash TV show. That's probably where we've seen the most live action Flashes. And in terms of, you know, what we're going to get, is going to be nice to see different Flashes. And yes, Bart Allen is going to be included in this show. He's going to be one of the main stars, as well as XS, aka Nora Allen. And it's really exciting to hear that Jordan Fisher and Jessica Parker Kennedy is going to be back. Heard that actually in New York recently, Grant Gustin, whilst performing on his off days, he's actually gone out, seen a couple of different shows. I know today he went to see Darren Criss perform on Broadway in Little Shop of Horrors. Also, Jordan Fisher has been performing on Broadway, and so I don't know if that's a coincidence or not, but sources are saying, you know, there has been conversations about Jordan Fisher returning as Bart Allen, but that hasn't been officially confirmed, despite the fact that he is very, very busy in New York. Don't know what projects Jessica Parker Kennedy has been doing recently, but it would be amazing to see her return as XS, because she is the veteran out of all these Flashes we've been talking about in today's video, and that's because she's showed up since season 4 of The Flash. That is a long time ago when you really think about it. We're in 2024 now. She showed up in season 4, which was like around 2017, 2018. So she's actually played that character for quite a long time, and she's popped up in a lot of seasons of The Flash. And so another big question remains, who is going to be the showrunner of the show? Obviously, Eric Wallace, while being the showrunner of The Flash, has previously shown a lot of interest in continuing The Flash. We know he wanted to go beyond the final season that we got to see. Potentially this could be almost like a Flash season 10, and if Eric Wallace was involved, you would see kind of a continuation of that style of storytelling. Maybe we'll get the graphic novels, and we would get to see the characters that he introduced in that series finale. Also, given that Superman Lois was supposed to be the final Arrowverse show, and considering they really don't want to get into the multiverse that much, it would be great to see this as a multiversal show, to actually see it from a speedster's perspective. I don't know if Max Mercury that we saw, Avery Ho, and Jess Chambers, I don't know if they were all on the same Earth, like they were all on Earth Prime when we got to see them at the end of The Flash season 9, but it would be great to explore the multiverse more, because that previously was what The Flash was all about, and I loved it back then when we got to explore these different Earths. Obviously, that's how the crossovers came to be. I mean, there would be no Flash and Supergirl crossover if it wasn't for the multiverse. And, you know, same thing goes for, you know, Jay Garrick, and we wouldn't have got that amazing Zoom story back in season 2. That was so pivotal, because they were from a different Earth, and obviously we got to see a glimpse into that other reality, and it would be great to actually see more of that in this almost Flash season 10. So yeah, Grant Gustin could also show up, as I previously said, considering that he's mentioned many times that he is open to returning to The Flash if he was given the right project, if he was given the right screenplay, and he liked what he was reading, he would be open to returning. And considering this project has now been confirmed, that's definitely an opportunity to see Grant Gustin once again as The Flash. Again, I don't know when this is going to be starting up, but you would presume it's sometime in the next year, given that this news has just come out today. But that pretty much does it for this video, guys. If you enjoyed the video, please be sure to leave a like and a comment, and subscribe and turn on notifications if you're new around here. I really do apologize for this video. Obviously, this is an April Fool's video. I don't know if you guys made it all the way to the end of me waffling, talking about this Flash spin-off show that I would love to see. Quite honestly, the only reason I make these videos, these April Fool's videos, is just talking about stuff that I would like to see, and obviously this is just me theorizing, fantasizing, so I didn't want to give you, you know, a video that is completely useless. Yes, this show hasn't been confirmed, and yes, this is not something that is happening, but it could happen at some point, and I'm being serious here, and that's because they did set it up well, and I would love to see Jordan Fisher and Jessica Parker Kennedy return, because I sincerely thought they were amazing on The Flash, and I would love to see Avery Ho, Max Mercury, Jess Chambers in a Flash spin-off at some point in the future, and I would love to see Eric Wallace back involved again, because I know he has a lot of ideas, and I really think it's a shame if we don't get a Flash spin-off at some point. So this is actually like my call out to the universe, please make it happen. despite this not being like real news and not this being an actual show coming. So hopefully you enjoyed the video. As I said, leave a like, get this video out there. Also check out all my recent videos. The Smallville stuff I talked about in this video is actually true. They've actually talked about it. It looks like it could happen in the next couple of years. That Smallville animated sequel, could that happen in the Arrowverse? That is another possibility to continue the Arrowverse. Or could they do a Smallville, which was like season 11, but in the comic books? Are we going to get a continuation of The Flash in the comic book form? I would love that. We've seen Nicole Maines continue Supergirl with her Dreamer in the comics, so why not? But for now, thank you guys for watching. Click on the top right corner to watch my latest video, and I'll catch you guys later. Goodbye.
I see red.